G'day guys, welcome to this video. Today I'm going to be talking about some simple DIY toys and activities that you can make for your 3 to 6 month old, I reckon. I made these when my son was 4 months old. If you're new here, hi, I'm Ali, I'm a mum of 2 and I've been doing activities at home for over 3 years now. I just love it, it's a lot of fun. But this video I actually filmed for a different YouTube channel and that channel no longer exists. So I thought I'd bring it across to this one so that you too can make these DIYs as well. These activities are great for your baby's development as well as keeping your baby entertained, especially if it's your first child. I know I felt there were times at home that I wanted to do some fun activities with my babies. So I hope you guys give these a go. If you do, feel free to tag me on Instagram, Play Activities with Mama. That's my dedicated Play Activities account. So the first one is a sensory bag. So the word sensory is thrown a lot around in kids' activities, I've noticed, but basically it is any activity that uses the 5 senses. So hearing, touch, smell, taste, sight. So they're the 5. So the first one I'm going to make is a sensory bag. So the senses that the baby uses when they're doing this activity is touch, their hearing, as well as their sight. This was a bag I love to use during tummy time, and the first ever one I did, I used black pom-poms for contrast. Initially when babies are seeing, they see black, white and grey. So that's why I went with the black pom-poms as well as the black and white duct tape. So I'm going to take you through it step by step so you can make this at home. So the first thing for a sensory bag, I'm going to be using this 1 litre IKEA bag. There's definitely ways you can make this more environmentally friendly. You could reuse another sensory bag you've used for something else. And also there's even silicone bags now that you can get online that are reusable. So to make this bag, I put the pom-poms in and then I added water. The reason why I just use water is because if it leaks, it's only water on the ground. When he's older, I will do this with hair gel, but at the moment, the risk of the bag being pierced and water going everywhere is quite high. But a way to make it even more secure is to double bag it, or as you're gonna see here, I'm using white duct tape to seal the edges to make it a little bit stronger. Before you seal up the Ziploc bag, make sure you've got all the air out. And why I do like these IKEA ones is it's 2 locks on the top, so it just makes it that little bit more secure. But like I said, I am going to be using duct tape as well, so black and white for that high contrast. So a tip with this is to make sure that when you're doing sensory bags, your baby's nails are short and that they're not sharp. And if you've got another child, like for me, my toddler touched it as well, so making sure her nails were short and not sharp as well. All activities that I share on this channel as well as my Instagram account require adult supervision, because obviously if the bag got pierced for somehow and the pom-poms came out, they are a choking hazard. So supervision is essential with baby activity. Because I wanted to move this sensory bag upstairs and downstairs, I didn't fix it to the floor, but that's another option. You could duct tape it to the floor, and then when you put your baby down for tummy time, they could just be there and touch it so that it's not moving around or being picked up. The reason I've done the duct tape along the whole lines is when I've done this before, it's actually leaked out of a corner. So that's why I've just fully covered it. I'm going to be sharing plenty more sensory bags for babies, toddlers, preschoolers. So please subscribe if you're not already. Then YouTube will send you a notification when I upload those videos. So when I gave this to my son, he would squish it between his hands. Like I said, I didn't fix it to the floor. So then he could try and grasp onto those pom-poms, try and grab them. He also did the same with his feet, touching it and pushing it. Both my kids have really liked tactile sensation of their feet as well. So do give it a try with their feet. Pop it down there and see what they do, whether they push on it with their feet or kick it. I do really like this for a tummy time activity, especially if your baby's not that into tummy time. It could distract them for a little bit so that they are busy looking at the pom-poms and touching those rather than thinking, I'm on my tummy again. I use this same bag for him to sit in my lap, and as he was holding onto it, I would squish it and touch his hands and his feet. If your little one is having trouble with tummy time, I will link a video at the end that I have done that may give you some ideas and tips and tricks. So the next activity I want to share is a pom-pom board. So in my video from 0 to 3 months, I shared some black and white contrast cards that I'd made, and you can lean it up against the wall as well as mirrors that I'd used. But here I found this photo frame. We've got lots of pom-poms, so I hot glued them to the board, and then because it's got the backing of the photo frame, I just sat it up so it was out of his reach, but something that he could look at. I also used it on the floor for tummy time as well, as he would try and grab it. But obviously they're pom-poms, so they require supervision because they are definitely a choking hazard. So it's an activity that must be supervised if they're touching the pom-poms. So what I grabbed to do this was an old photo frame. I noticed that the corners were a little bit sharp, so I grabbed that black and white duct tape once again to seal the sides, so it's giving the contrast but it's also stopping those edges from being sharp. Then I had a ton of pom-poms and I used hot glue to glue it to the board. The duct tape I'm using is quality duct tape. It is really sticky and it didn't come off. I've used some cheaper versions for other activities and the duct tape has just come off. So it's definitely worth spending the money to make sure you've got a duct tape that's got a really strong adhesive on it. For my first child, I made a sensory book and I just used some cardboard and put the pom-poms on there and we flicked through it like a book. So I'll leave that link up here if you want to go check out that video, and I'll share it at the end as well. I must say though, my son was a happy chucker, and so one time when he was doing tummy time, he spewed up on it, so I just had to give it a really good clean and just hot glue on some more pom-poms. The design I went for this was a big one in the middle and then big ones on each corner so that it just gave some more height, and then I just filled in the spaces by hot gluing all the rest of the pom-poms on. And then as he got older, he started to grab on them more and try and pull. So that's when the activity was done. So you do need to supervise your babies with this, and just depending on where they are at developmentally will depend how long you can use this for. So the next one I want to share with you is a baby mobile, and these are really simple to do. First thing I want to talk about though is the attachment to the ceiling. So I wanted to make sure that it's renter friendly, that it's not marking the walls. So I ended up using this hook. I bought it from Bunnings Hardware, and it's just got the adhesive tape on the back so it's easy to pull off. It is called a ceiling hook, so it's great for party decor as well. I've just been using one of his toys. It's My First Footy that's got a bell in it. So I just used that and then I changed over to make my own mobile. So this was using a paper towel roll, and then I just wrapped it with ribbon, hot glued on some ribbon, hot glued some ribbon down each end, and then I used lots of different colors to make it bright and colorful, and then I hooked it up to the ceiling.
We're in this together now. We're in this together now. Give me your love.
So this is simple to do using your recyclables. Now I just used yarn to attach it to the ceiling hook, but I could have used elastic too so that it had a bit of bounce. So that's another option, an idea for you. The last one I want to share is a sensory ring. I've done a whole video on this that I shared when I made one for my daughter, and this time I went a little bit simpler. I didn't add as much things to this sensory ring. There are so many different things you can put. Like, I've just wrapped it in ribbon, and the ring actually has these little beads in it so it makes a sound. So it's his sense of hearing that he's using when he's playing with this. And then also touch. I must admit with him, I kept it pretty simple. Here I'm showing you what I had on it. I just kept it from when my daughter had it. So there's bubble wrap, different materials, different wool, different ribbons, a little white ball with holes in it, and lots of different kind of fabric. I've also seen people use mop heads. So just have a walk around your house and see what different textures you've got. Or the couple of items that I did buy for my daughter, I just went to a cheapo shop and had a look at what they had. That white ball with the holes was definitely very popular with my daughter. So with my son, I kept it super simple. I literally wrapped around some ribbon and he was really happy with that. So you can keep it as simple as a hula hoop with the beads in it, right up to putting tons of different textures on it. Another great one is using the teething rings and tying them on, and just toys as well. Tie on your toys that you've got. I hope this gave you some great ideas. Thanks heaps for being here. If you're new here, I've got a baby activities playlist right here. I also have a toddler activities one, and with my daughter being 3 now, we're getting into preschool activities. So please subscribe, check out these videos, and follow along on Instagram.
We're in this together now. We're in this together now. We're in this together now. We're in this together now.
Happy playing. Bye.
Give me your love and tell me your secrets. 'Cause we're in this together now. Yeah, we're in this together now.